Hello, I'm Jacob, and this is the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today I'm kind of excited to talk to you about something that I haven't heard people talk about before. And it is a category of knife manufacturer. Whoever is watching, you are probably familiar with production knives, right? Companies making a lot of knives. I'm not going to go too much into explaining that. And you're probably also familiar with custom knives. I'm not going to explain that too much either, but basically your difference is a bigger company making a lot of knives, a lot of employees, a lot of automation. Very small companies, and not a lot of that, all right? Now, somewhere in the middle, you might be familiar with the term mid-tech. Mid-technology. It's supposed to be somewhere in the middle between production and custom. So, not quite as well-defined, not as quite as well-known, but basically you're bringing some level of automation and business into custom knife making, typically so that a custom maker can bring a unique product to more people than he could if he's doing all the work by himself, and he's still separated from premium production because he has his own designs, his own ways of doing things, and his own unique style. Those are all pretty well defined. I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but something that I believe is not often talked about, what I call custom production, is the small shop like the custom maker who, instead of going for custom knives, is shooting for production knives. So you have a small guy or a small shop trying to make a lot of knives as fast as they can to try and compete with mid-tech or even production knife prices while still retaining their own flavor and flair and their small shop that they're comfortable with. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of that. Anza Knives, ShadowTech Knives, and Mineral Mountain Hatchet Works. Now, you can't have it all. You can't have custom production knives at production costs with custom quality. So typically the goal here is to make a good hard use knife with solid heat treat and awesome warranty, but they've got to make the knives really fast. They have to be very talented to do that. And so sometimes what you might end up with, you'll see hollow grinds are pretty common with custom production knives. You might see, final finish is a little bit different than what you would expect. You might see primary or your secondary or micro bevel might be a little bit large, might not be perfectly, might be a little bit wonky with the lines, but ideally you get a knife that's ready to work with a perfectly straight edge, a great heat treat, a great warranty from a small shop with some custom touches. I think that this is really cool. Now, most of my viewers, you know that I support kind of the American dream. I really like small business. And I would really like to, I'm going to share the links to these companies in the description box below. Where I can, I'll do both their website and their Instagram. And as you know, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but if I get a production knife in the mail and it's unexpectedly hollow ground, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. And typically, hollow grind knives are not as strong per se as saber grind or flat grind, but typically we see them with fat, thick edges or in D2 or stainless, which just makes the whole thing worse. I'm interested. I'm going to try out some of these knives. I'm going to reach out to these guys and see if, one of these hollow ground knives can really stand up to some abuse and be a good working knife, because these production companies aren't using these crap steels, and at the end of the day, these production companies want people to use their knives, not stow them away on some shelf. So you have good intentions behind them, and I'm going to try them out. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about production custom knives and mid-tech knives. The definition's a little bit convoluted because at what point does a production custom knife or a mid-tech knife become a production knife? And I think it has to do with numbers. I don't know if anybody out there has ever put a specific number on it. If you make 1,000 knives at a time, are you mid-tech anymore? I don't know. If you do it consistently and keep knives in stock, it's probably just production. And I'm not sure, but maybe a good example of a company that is production but would have been considered mid-tech if they made less knives might be Bark River Knives. And on the flip side, where does a production custom company become just a normal production company? A good example of that might be Tops Knives. They probably started out smaller, and once they grow to a certain point, they're just production. They still might have all of their flavor and everything else, but they don't have that special little niche category anymore. Let me know what you think about the companies I listed. Please check every one of them out. I want you to know what you think potentially of each one of them. I think it's really cool that ShadowTech Knives has moved to 8670 steel. It's basically a modified 1070 high carbon. Not a lot of people are using that. I am seriously interested to see how that performs. And Anza knives are made out of files. Typically, I think files are 1095. I've had one in the past. It sharpened up pretty good. I'm just kind of some bug has bit me, and I'm interested in these custom production type knives because it's something that is not as common, and that should be obvious by the fact that we don't even really have a name or a well understood or defined name for what these shops are, because I don't think they're production companies. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Below the links for these 3 companies that I've mentioned will be links to how you can support my channel through Beach and Tactical, my website, where I hand make tactical and survival gear, through my Patreon, where you can support this channel directly and have exclusive access to me, and through my Amazon store, where I've picked some top quality gear that I have personally used and reviewed, most of which I still own, and which I found the best price on and tried to find prime. So if you're trying to go shopping for someone, definitely check that out. Help support the channel. I look forward to talking to you guys on this subject because it's something that I've not heard a lot about. I'll be planning on posting this video all over Facebook to include my group, the Preppers Bunker, also Gray Wolf Survival. Oh, come on, brain. Meeting of the Prepared Minds, and Spirit of the Woods. So if you haven't checked those groups out on Facebook, I would encourage you to. They're great places. The Preppers Bunker is really only for fairly conservative-minded people and preppers. So if you're a dirty commie, just don't even ask to be in the group. But anyways, like I said, yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about them. Please check out each website and let me know what you think about each company. They're a little bit rough around the edges, but they've got this, I don't know. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with your friends, and I hope that you have a blessed day.